Now then people, it's Joe, Leeds TV, and we are live. It's Monday Night Football. We are going to sit and watch. Let me just sort this out a little bit. I do have the England game on. Like I say, I thought we'd do Monday Night Live, have a chat about Leeds, what's going on at Leeds United at this moment in time, and of course watch the England game. Now it's a bit of a sombre affair if you're watching the game. Obviously, it's had to now be stopped twice for some disgusting chants coming from the Bulgarian contingent, the Bulgarian fans. Obviously, were over there. There's been just some hideous chants. I don't even want to refer to what it is they're doing, but there's been a lot of booing, a lot of hissing when the likes of Rashford and Sterling have got on the ball. But do you know what? Obviously, we're battering him. We all know the scoreline. For those that are asking what happened, basically during the game, there's been some racist chanting coming from the Bulgarian fans. The game's been stopped. The game gets stopped. Now UEFA protocol states the game must be stopped. There is a message over the tannoy to the home fans, basically saying if it continues, the game could end up being called off. It then continued, so they stopped the game again for a period of time. If they stop the game and then hope that will deter them. But as I say, it's got to the second half, and England are 4-0 up. Let's see if it continues in the second half. The one thing I don't have the luxury of is having the sound on, because like I say, if I have the sound on, the video, the YouTube video will get striked, will get taken down. We don't want that to happen. That's what's been going on, and it's a shame because it's gonna shed a bad light on what's been a decent England performance. We've had a wonder goal from Marcus Rashford. I've seen a funny thing on Twitter actually. Someone said, I can understand why that's gone in because he's wearing red, and when he's wearing the red of Manchester United, he doesn't score. I don't know if you've all seen, he actually won goal of the month for September, which was a penalty for the scum. So it shows the sorry state of affairs that they're in at the moment. But yeah, absolutely wonder strike, to be fair, from Marcus Rashford. We've then had 2 goals from Ross Barkley, and then just rounded off there with a finish from Raheem Sterling. So I'm absolutely buzzing as well. The fact that the lads that are getting the abuse, the likes of Sterling, the likes of Rashford, have got on the score sheet, because there's no better feeling. Listen, I can't even comprehend what it's like. You know what I mean? I'm a white man. I can't profess to even to know what it must be like to have that sort of abuse, and not only that, to get that abuse, but then also have to concentrate on the game of football as well, must be difficult. Ian Wright's just been speaking about it with the likes of Roy Keane. Roy Keane basically said, it's an absolute disgrace. Even being here in the stadium, it makes me feel sick to the stomach having to listen to that. So the fact but Ian Wright says, yeah, but what you've got to understand is that they've then got to play on through that. So it's really poor, but it is going to take the light off what's been a very good England performance today. But a few of you have put in the comments, it's absolutely disgusting. Ollie Davis says, what happens result-wise if it gets called off? I'm not sure. Would it just stand as the scoreline that it is? I'd assume if you were drawing, for example, that you would get the win. But the fact that we're 4-0 up, would they just say, right, it's a 4-0 win? But it's an absolute disgrace. Bulgaria, the way the UEFA work, what will they do? Make Bulgaria play behind behind closed doors and not have fans there? That's absolutely gash. They should be banned, and maybe that will deter the fans. Maybe, I'm not too sure, but all I know is that the UEFA aren't doing enough to tackle racism in football. Especially in and this is no disrespect to any Bulgarians, but any sort of like Eastern European companies that maybe don't have a large ethnic contingent like say like in England, you know what I mean? We have so many different races, so many different types of people. Maybe in these sort of countries it's education that's needed, do you know what I mean? Because it's an absolute disgrace that in 2019, you know, we're seeing here, I think it's Popov of Bulgaria is actually speaking to the fans, I guess trying to get them to not continue with this. You know, he's their captain, so hopefully, guys, unfortunately I can't watch the game, you know, I can't listen to the game, so if it continues, maybe you'll have to let us know in the comments for them that are watching the game. But yeah, let's have a look at what you guys are saying in the comments. Mr. Matt Eden says, as a Bulgarian and a Leeds fan, I would like to apologise for everything that happened. Unfortunately, several people are enough to ruin the night for tens of thousands. Yeah, and that's another thing. Sorry, Mr. Matt Eden, that's not me saying that all Bulgarians are like this, but there is a small contingent that need to be educated, I guess. But yeah, it's not great, and you don't need to apologise. At the end of the day, mate, if you are Bulgarian and it is genuine, you don't need to apologise, because if you're, you know what I mean, it's not you personally. And like Quinn says, it's hardly your fault. Racism isn't just a Bulgarian problem either. Yeah, 100%. It's the fact it's happened 3 games in a row, Kieran Quinn. It's just a small group, and it looks like most have been removed from the ground. Yeah, I do believe they were all wearing black as well, so they look to have. It did show them being removed from the ground. Whether or not they've done that through choice, I'm not too sure. But there you have it. Mr. Matt Eden says, Kieran Quinn, yes, there was a small group of right-wing supporters that left the stadium at the end of the first half. I hope every one of them left and will never attend a football game ever again. And Darren Kellett says, no place for this, needs to stamp it out of the beautiful game. But let's leave that now. That's been done. Bit of a not an ideal opening to Monday Night Football. But yeah, the game's, as I say, the game's on now. Listen, the unfortunate thing, like when I'm doing the watch along with the Leeds games, you know, I can profess to know everyone. I'm not going to know some of these Bulgarian players, so it is going to be a tough task. But like I say, let's have a chat about Leeds United and what's been going on at Leeds United the last few days. Obviously, this morning, if you haven't already, I did a video for the links that have just come out about QSI and potential investors. Andrea Radrizzani has done an article with the Times for Martin Ziegler, I think it is, and that's come out and been in the press. I think the one thing that's quite poignant is the fact that Radrizzani has come out now and confirmed it. You know, there was periods, early parts in the year, where Leeds were pretty quite tight-lipped on the situation. However, that's now changed. Obviously, it's out there now in the public domain that Radrizzani said, yes, look, we are looking for investors. He did say that there was 20, he's been approached by approximately 20 people wanting to invest in Leeds United. It's a good header out there by Maguire, I think it may be. No, it's not. It might be Ben Chilwell. Rashford's onto the ball in the halfway line now. No, he's lost out to, again, a Bulgarian player. But I think a free kick's been given England's way on the halfway. But yeah, so Radrizzani is obviously has confirmed the fact that you know, that there are going to be potential prospective you know, new buyers. That's well took down by Henderson. What a strike by Harry Kane. Good save, to be fair. No pressure in the box for the defender, and he just hooks it out. And it's gone out wide right. Bulgaria, to be fair, he's done well there, that lad, number 11, to get it out. It's decent playing out from the back there from Bulgaria, to be fair. They've done well, but I think, is it Trippier? Yeah, Trippier's tried to challenge him, and I think there's a foul there for Bulgaria. They've done well there, to be fair. Harry Kane, it probably was a foul. But to be fair, they've done well to get it out from the back in that situation. I think it was Trippier on Krakev. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, Harry Kane it's definitely a free kick there from the England captain. Well took down by Henderson in the chance on a great effort by Harry Kane, and it's a decent save, and then Bulgaria worked it out well. But yeah, back to the QSI thing. Me personally, if the QSI link is true, you know, we do have the fact that, you know, there's a prospective American wealthy businessman who's been a Leeds United supporter since he was a child. He's also been mentioned. We don't know who that might be. For all we know, it could be Donald Trump. I doubt very much though. And then obviously you've got an owner as well that owns an Italian football club. It could, someone tweeted me earlier actually and said it could be the guy at Inter Milan, which we've seen before. I know one of Rad Razzani's right hand men. I forget his name now, Lorenzo Tonetti maybe. He's been spotted over in at the Inter Milan training complex a few times, so that could well be a credible link as well. I'm not saying it is Inter Milan, but it could make sense. And obviously we've seen that before. I think, is it Udinese and Wolves have had something similar before. To be fair, that's a great run by Bulgarian. They've ran into each other. Wow, that's a poor effort from outside the box by Kravev, let's say. He's got the David Luiz perm rocking that. So yeah, the guy that looks like David Luiz had an effort and it's just gone wide and high and wide. Definite square instead of circle on the old FIFA shot. Kane's up for it. Sterling. Can he play Kane back in? He has. Little touch to Rashford. 5-0. Sterling. Oh, just wide. Decent work, to be fair, between the front three. I think Kane tried to play in Rashford. Rashford got there just ahead of the keeper. Let's have a look. Sterling into Kane. Nice little dink, to be fair. Through ball to Rashford. It's a good save from the keeper, and Sterling's following up and just puts it wide left. Yeah, he's unlucky, to be fair. But let's get into some of your comments. Like I say, I've never done Monday Night Football whilst also watching a game. It's a bit of a tough task. But we'll give it a whirl. There's only 54 people in as well, which is pretty poor showing for Monday Night Football. I am disappointed in the All Leeds TV faithful. They need to get in the comments. But Quinn says, Joe, question for you. Why are QSI interested in the club? What makes us more attractive prospect than other clubs, especially those that are in the Premier League? We're a sleeping giant, right? We are, in terms of potential, we're up there with the top teams in the division. We already have a worldwide fan base. Sorry, I'm just watching there. Henderson try to play in Sterling. Sterling, to be fair, has got it. Hendo, lovely ball. Unlucky. A bit too much on it and the keeper comes out. But yeah, back to your question. Quinn, Leeds United. As you know, you're a Leeds United fan, I'm assuming. Well, I know you are, but we're a huge club. We already have worldwide fan base, yeah? There is Leeds fans everywhere. You know, I can go anywhere in the UK, even across the world. I mean, I was in Benidorm. I know Benidorm's not that far afield, but I was sat in a bar and there was a guy there with a Leeds United top. We're everywhere, right? We're not your average team, okay? So the potential there is huge, right? It's absolutely huge. So if this team was to get into the Premier League, the potential's massive. And QSI, listen, I've always, Mings marauding into the Bulgarian box there, right from halfway, and Rashford plays it back to Chilwell, and they're knocking it around at the back. But yeah, as a Leeds fan, I've never quite understood why we haven't been bought by, billionaire owners, big owners, because the potential and the prospect of Leeds United is there for all to see. The only reason we haven't, to be fair, is due to the mismanagement from previous owners and the absolute disarray that the club's been in behind the scenes. I don't profess to know a lot about books and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a mathematician, but we're all not daft. We know the state the club has been in at times with the likes of GFH, with the likes of Bates, even Cellino, and obviously before that, Risdale. But what I'm saying, Radrazani has now made us an attractive prospect. So in terms of people looking at us as a business, right, okay, so the books are good, everything's where it needs to be. All you need to do is have a look at what Radrazani's done in terms of bringing the club back to the city, to the fans, and we're all as one. Even the stuff that he's doing around the ground, investing in that way with, the Centenary Square, all that stuff. I mean, even the away shirt, let's have a look at the away shirt for one. That broke records. I mean, Angus Kinnear said, oh, that's a lovely ball, unlucky Ross Barkley. But that broke records in terms of sales for an away shirt. So if the club's doing well, and we're at a good, you know, I guess merch sales, all that sort of stuff, through the roof. It's all there for everyone to see. Rashford, hang on, we've got an effort here. Rashford's in the box, he's played in Chilwell. That's a good knock across, too much on it, and it's missed by Kane and by Sterling. I do really like Ben Chilwell, to be fair. Top player. But yeah, so for me, it's a no-brainer. Leeds United as a prospect to invest in is a no-brainer. So for me, QSI are looking at that and saying, right, okay, we can go and invest in, I don't know, Bournemouth, for example, or Crystal Palace, or whatever it may be. I mean, look at Villa. Villa's a top example. I mean, they've got like Chinese owners, right? There's a lot of money. You know, we're of a similar stature. You know, like we're good old traditional big English clubs. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City. I know they're huge right now, but I'm telling you, for me, like, Leeds are bigger, and I know for any younger audience that might watch this might think, what are you talking about? But it's true, you know. Had it not gone terribly wrong, and, you know, had we have qualified for the Champions League the following year, and, you know, and what happened at Ruysdale hadn't have happened, we'd be there, man. We'd already be there, you know what I mean? It's just an unfortunate turn of events, what happened, total mismanagement that we've had like 15 years of just absolute dross and shite, but it's about to change, I'm telling you. I feel it in the old waters, and yeah, and a lot of that is down to Radrizzani, but you know, you've look, as a businessman and someone who wants to invest in football and you have the capital to do so, Leeds United is a perfect way to do it. We've seen what's happened with Wolves, you know, another decent club. They're in Europe, man. They're in Europe. And they've been up there, what, 2 seasons now? You know, it could happen for us, genuinely. I do believe that. So I hope that answers your question in some way. I hope it does. Let's have a look. Yeah, Harry Fitzgerald, this was something else I wanted to cover. He basically says, what we're thinking of Eddie getting called back. So I know Conor did a video, there was a lot of paper talk, Alan Nixon at The Sun, Daily Mail. The newspapers, yes, are they reputable? Not for me. Alan Nixon, I mean, he's blocked me. You question him once, and again, he hasn't. It's not. I wasn't untoward. To be fair, I used to have him on notifications during the summer, and he'd get a few of them wrong. I believe he mentioned KP going at one point, and you question him. Sterling, he's done well to bring it inside. It's a good save from the keeper. You question him once, he blocks you. I'm telling you now. So he doesn't like to be questioned. I implore you now, go to Alan Nixon, question or disagree with him, and I guarantee you get blocked. 100% you'll get blocked. That for me, if you're a reputable journalist or a bang on the money all the time, you won't be bothered. Why would you be bothered? That guy's questioning me or put forward an argument that I can't really contend with, and therefore makes my original claim of this person doing XYZ look stupid. So rather than address that and take that on, I'm just going to block him. Do you see what I'm saying? I understand if I'm giving you abuse. If you're giving someone abuse, then fair enough. But you know, I'm not sure he's always 100% bang on the money. That's a lovely ball through. Oh, they're bloody tackling each other, Barkley and Sterling there. To be fair, this game could be out of sight, you know what I mean? I know we're out of sight already 4, but you could be talking 6, 7, 8. It'd be so funny if we got 6, you know? Especially when the Scots only got 6 against San Marino. It's all bloody Jim White spoke about on Talk Shit this morning. But Maguire's give Bulgaria a free kick on halfway. Harry Maguire having a bit of a go there. So yeah, do I think Eddie will go back? No. No, I was speaking to someone today who was pretty close to people at the club, or speaks with people at the club, and I asked him what his thoughts were. He basically turned around and said, look, I've spoken to someone who's close. Eddie loves it at the club. He doesn't want to go anywhere, all right? I think he'd be daft to. But, and this is Conor's argument, and I 100% I'm on board with that, ultimately, he's going to want to start games. He's going to want to start games. Now, ahead of Bamford at this moment in time, and you know how I feel about Patrick Bamford. You all know how I've felt about Patrick Bamford in the past. Based on West Brom, that kid cannot come out of the side. Against West Brom, Patrick Bamford was absolutely immense. His best performance in a Leeds shirt. One of the best centre-forward displays I've seen in a long time. Genuinely. He was that good. He was that good. Now, ultimately, come the end of his tenure at Leeds, come the end of his career, he'll be judged on goals. And that's the thing with strikers. But based on West Brom, you can't take Patrick Bamford out of this side. I was listening to the Love Sport radio show that the lads at All Stats Aren't We have on, and they had Noel Whelan on Friday, and he said, like, Patrick Bamford now, he's all arms, he's all, you know, he's in defenders' faces. And he made the point of saying, you know, centre-backs now will hate coming up against him. Yes, we need goals from him, and they will come. I know it's mad to hear me. As I'm saying this, I'm like, Joe, are you really saying this? But I have genuinely had a change. And this is the thing, I will always support a Leeds player regardless, right? I might not agree whether or not he might start or should Eddie be ahead, but at this moment in time, you can't. Can you bring them in? Can you bring them both together? Do you play Bamford in the 10 just behind? He did it at Borough. He had a good stint there. I don't think he will. I think that's one area that we need to maybe address in January is the number 10 role, because I prefer Click in the high 8 as opposed to the 10. But that's just my my opinion, because I think Forshaw is absolutely solid. He's been mint this season and we've missed him massively. If he could finish, because he has decent efforts on goals, he just can't finish them. And you're talking whiskers away. If he added them goals to his game, I think we'd be all right, genuinely. But I just think we need a number 10. We do need a number 10. And look, and Eddie to play more of a bigger part. Now, how that is, I'm not sure. That's for Bielsa to decide. I genuinely thought after Charlton, Patrick could have come out of the side at that game. He gave away a silly. He could have seen red during that game. He started against West Brom and had his best performance in a Leeds shirt. So that shows you what I know. You know, could Harrison come out? I think that's the contentious one for me. I don't think Harrison's pulled up any trees of late. But again, yeah, I hope that answers your question in some sort of way. I also want to touch on Ben White as well in a similar sort of vein. Henderson now breaking into the box. Right, Rashford, Hendo again. Just knocking it about a bit now, to be fair. The game's won, taking the sting out. Hendo, Crossfield, no, Hendo. I think I'm a Liverpool fan. Yo, Hendo. Yeah, just knocking it back. Lull. There's a lull in play. But let's have a look. Yeah, so yeah, on to Ben White. So there's also been links, and listen, I said this on Twitter. Check the footage. I said weeks and weeks and weeks ago, Ben White was that good of a footballer that I could see him bypassing Brighton. And what I meant by that is, at the end of his time at Leeds come this season, hopefully we can sign him in the Prem, I see him bypassing Brighton and moving on to a bigger club, because he's that good. And the fact that Liverpool have now been linked with him, that's a lovely ball through that. Rashford into Kane. That's another good save. We could have been 5-6 now, to be fair. That's a lovely ball through from Rashford into Kane, and he has an effort at goal. They've tried to clear it, but it's gone as far as Winks. Barkley, Rashford, just knocking it about now, to be fair. Tyrone Mings at the back. See, that's another thing there. You see the likes of Tyrone Mings, etc. Just shows you what Premier League football can get you straight into an England side. Because I'm telling you, if we do go up, the likes of KP and Ben White will be playing in this England side, without a doubt. How can they not? Do you know what I mean? Ben White is a Rolls Royce of a centre-back. and obviously we all know about KP. It'd just be nice to see some homegrown talent back in there, like we always do with Milner. Whenever we see him doing good, it just makes me feel good, right? Even in a Liverpool shirt, I just absolutely love James Milner. But yeah, Ben White. See, I keep rambling. Sorry, I do apologise. So yeah, could he? I don't think it'll happen in January. Ben White's going nowhere. Ben White is going nowhere. I do believe, though, that Graham Potter, after going in the door and seeing performances that he's put in for Leeds, because I believe he was moved on before Potter was in. You know, Potter's just in the door. They're probably saying, oh, we're loaning this kid out. He's probably not had a time or even bothered to look at him because it's Premier League, and he's gone, yeah, loan him out, that's fine. I do think probably looking at it now, he's probably kicking himself with the likes of Lewis Dunk, Duffy and that at the back, especially with the style of play that Graham Potter's going to try and play at Brighton, or is trying to play at Brighton. He probably looks at Ben White and says he probably could do a job. But yeah, I don't, he's not going anywhere. At the end of the season, that's a totally different kettle of fish, isn't it? At the end of the day, if we go up, there is a possibility we could sign him. If we don't, it's not happening. But even still, we'd then have to, for me, compete with the likes of Liverpool, etc., if the links are believed to be true. Listen, for me, and this is what I'm saying when I was answering Quinn earlier on, regardless of if we've just been promoted, if you've got the likes of Bournemouth, if you've got the likes of Palace, even teams like West Ham for me, if Leeds United are in there and they're a Premier League side and we have financial backing, there's only one way to go. We are a massive club. I cannot stress that enough. You all know it anyway. But trust me, and I've said this many a times, that you all know where I live. Obviously, I'm in Sunderland now, see them, but I used to live in Borough. I work with a lot of Sunderland fans. I work with a lot of Middlesbrough fans. And I used to say to Middlesbrough, to my friends who were Middlesbrough fans, oh, Sterling there has played it out wide right to Trippier, ball into the box, and Barkley and Kane go for the same ball. It's been a bit of a miscommunication. It's a few times that's happened now with the guys. But yeah, back to my friends at Borough saying, yeah, you go up, you go back down. I say, Leeds United, once we're back up, we ain't coming back down. And the reason that is because we're a big club. We'll have the backing from Radrazani and from prospective owners. We ain't a yo-yo. We ain't about that life. You know, I've spoken to people before. Would you accept going back up and going back down? No, we're Leeds United. We're not Burnley. We're not Burnley who are going to consolidate. And look at Burnley now. Yeah, fair enough. They were happy to do that when they had Brian Law in, and then they brought in Dyche and they kept him in charge. Dyche top manager, but they went up. They came back down and built. We're Leeds United. We're not about that life. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself because we're not even there yet. But. Oh, Rashford's kept it in, I believe. He's kept it in. He's playing well tonight as Rashford. He's done well. Cut back again. Defender, keeper. It's a corner ball now. That's another thing as well. Like, and I hope he's watching. My boy, Oscar Marriott. When I was in Benidorm, obviously I only caught the first half of the Millwall game. I seen the penalty and all that shite. But then I was on the plane and I couldn't watch it and stuff. So anyway, I seen after the game, obviously we lost 2-1. And Oscar had put his video out and he basically said that we're in danger of getting left behind. I thought it was well wide of the mark, and this isn't me digging anybody out. We do disagree with the lads on the channel. The boys will tell you in our group chat, we disagree a lot. We do. I'm Mr. Positive, it is what it is. But we're not in the risk of getting left behind. I mean, there's 3 points between the top 9. We're 1 win away off top. We always lose at Millwall. We shouldn't be surprised. We lose at Millwall. It is what it is. Had the sending off not happened, it's a different game. I'm not saying we win the game, you know what I mean? But it's a different game, isn't it? So, for me, it's all good, man. It's all good. We will go on a run. I've said this on thinking we did last season. We'll do it again. Didn't we go on a run of about 6-7 games unbeaten? We will do that again, believe me. And I just think the standard of the division this season, it's worse. It's worse, right? And if we can put together 6 or 7 wins on the bounce, Kane now breaking into the box, plays in Sterling, and there you go. It's 5-0. To be fair, it looked like I thought he'd just gone offside there. But Kane picks it up in the pocket, plays a nice little ball through to Sterling, and Sterling makes it 5. That's 2, 4, 6 fingers up. to the racists in the crowd, and that's another one for Sterling. So that's 2 for Sterling, 2 for no. What am I talking about? Good ball, and Sterling slots it in. 2 for Sterling, 1 for Kane, 1 for Rashford. No, fuck's sake, man. 2 for Barkley, 1 for Kane, 1 for Rashford, 1 for Sterling. No, Sterling's got 2. My head's blasted. What am I talking about? This is an absolute car crash. I'm tired, man. Someone correct me. 2 for Sterling, 2 for Barkley, 1 for Kane. I believe. I believe that's right. So yeah, I've totally lost my mind and track of where I was there. So let's get into some of your let's jump into some of your comments. Gail Dale said, "Is it true that the sending off against Berardi has been rescinded?" Yes, it is, Gail Dale. Kane didn't even score. There you go. Thank you, Reese Armitage. Kane hasn't even scored. He's assisted, right? Rashford got the first, Barkley got 2, then Sterling got 2. Yeah, Kane's not even scored, man. Kane, what you doing, man? Absolute garbage. Gail Dale, is it true the sending off for Berardi has been rescinded? Yes, and rightly so. I don't want to delve too much into that decision. It was absolutely insane. You've got the double jeopardy rule. You've got the fact that KP was covering him. You've then got the history of Mr. Linnington and how many players he's sent off for Leeds United. The likes, I mean, Belushi, you probably think, all right, fair enough, but actually watching the footage back, it's not. Oh, there we go, Barkley. Yeah, actually, watching the footage back, Belushi actually wasn't at fault. You know what I mean? We've seen a few from Linnington. So, what can you say about that? We always get shit refs, but not only that, I think the rest of the division does as well. Like, genuinely, I think the standard of refereeing in this division is absolutely garbage. It's not on our debuts. I think we've got not debuts. Mason Mount and Jadon Sancho look like they are about to come on. Both exciting prospects. It's hard for me to say. It's really hard for me to say when it comes to Mason Mount. It makes me a little bit sick. Prior to the season starting, my brother who lives in London was talking up Tammy Abraham and the likes of Mason Mount, and I was saying, nah, they're both garbage. Played against them, they're garbage. Won't work. Lampard won't work. Shit. But unfortunately, it's going well, and Sterling's brought it out right from the edge of our box here. He's got to play Rashford. Nah, see, far too much. We had about 3 players there. I think you had the likes of Winks, Kane, and Rashford. The ball was on there for Rashford, and he wanted to do it all on his own. He can be a bit guilty of that decision-making wise. Don't get me wrong, under Pep Guardiola, Sterling has come on leaps and bounds. He can now finish a ball. His decision-making's decent, but there, it let him down. I know he's on a hat-trick. He's probably got a lot of emotion running around his head as well, but I think the ball there for me, outside of the foot, daisy cutter across to Rashford. I can say that as though I can play that type of football. I can't, but you know, watching these guys, I know that Sterling's got that in his locker. But Barkley's come off for Mason Mount, and Raheem Sterling has come off for Jadon Sancho. Maybe that's why Sterling kept on to it. He probably knew he was coming off, and therefore wanted to try and get his hat-trick before he didn't. But there, let's have a look. Northallerton White says, "Hi Joe, what do you think of the Millwall result?" Touched on it slightly just before. Listen, we never do well at Millwall. What is it, 10 attempts now? It's not going to define our season. It is one of them. I mean, look at the West Brom result. They're the sort of huge ones. If we'd have gone to Millwall, I mean, like I say, I was listening to the Love Sport Radio, the lads with All Stats Aren't We, the lad who presents it was talking about, I was really shocked at the result because of, you'd played so well against West Brom, and then when at the weekend, because he's not a Leeds fan, and he's like, and I see the result against Millwall, I was genuinely shocked. Genuinely, we're not. It's what we expect. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a mental thing. We can't go down there and seem to get a result, I'm telling you. But we can't say we were robbed although we were given a bad hand or dealt a bad hand with the sending off, because ultimately we weren't ahead. Do you know what I mean? The game was still 0-0. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best, was it? I mean, it puts a down on your weekend all the time. But listen, we can get back to, oh, here we are. Is it Sancho from the right? Is it Sancho? Yeah, tries to play in. Unfortunately, it's saved by the keeper. But oh, I can hear people walking about. I've come in. I've not even had tea, you know. I've come in because I knew I was late. Because, like I say, I knew the game kicked off at 1:45. Callum Wilson about to come on the pitch. About time. I really rate Callum Wilson. It's good to see him getting in England call up, to be fair. But yeah, the Millwall thing. Let's wipe our hands of it now. Let's move on a little bit. We have Birmingham to look forward to, and the fact that we are 100 years old on that game, cannot wait. I've had quite since Barnsley, I've taken a bit of a sabbatical, as you know, on the All Leeds TV front, also the games, just to sort out my head a little bit. So it's my first game back at Ellen Road for quite some time. Absolutely buzzing for it. Can't wait. And yeah, you'll see my Birmingham pre-match a little bit later on in the week. But you know, it's the return of Pep Clotet. Paul says QSI is happening. I mean, QSI, and I know I've spoken to lads previously when it was all linked. Oh, what is he doing there? What are you doing, Mason Mount, you gimp? That is piss poor, that. The keeper, he's charged down the keeper, and for some reason he's had an effort at goal, and he's basically 9-9'd it out of play. He could have played in Rashford. What are you doing? Told you Mason Mount was gash. Yeah, so QSI could have already beaten. It's Rashford that's coming off for Callum Wilson. The QSI thing could have already been signed, sealed, delivered. You know, like a gentleman's agreement, a golden handshake, all that sort of jazz. And it just might be that the wheels are now in motion for it to become a reality. There might be someone watching this stream, one of my pals who actually said this to me weeks, right at the start of the season. Look, the deal's already done, it's going to happen come January. He genuinely said this, right? But it's, again, the rumour mill, it just goes crazy. You never know what to believe, right? But it could well be. And the fact that even Bravo has now, you know, he's no longer on the board as well, that frees up a position on the board. The fact that Radrazani and Conor and stuff were with the 49ers, again, having them conversations, it's no coincidence, is it? So yeah, Paul Weaver says it's a great show, thank you very much. Numbers are pretty small tonight, we're normally plus of 100, so I'll be having words with the All Leeds TV faithful. But maybe they're watching the England game, and as I say, my commentary on the England game isn't as great as it might be on the Leeds one, because I don't know all the Bulgarian players and it's a bit sketchy. And if I'm being totally honest, yes, I love England, but nothing compares to club football for me. I'm going to put that out to you guys actually, because, you know, what is it, club or country? Would you rather see Leeds United not even win the Premier League? Would you rather see Leeds United get promoted this season or England win a major tournament? That's a mad one, innit? Because it's not even Premier League football. But for me, it's Leeds United all the way. Genuinely, I hate international breaks. To be honest, I very rarely watch England. I know this sounds crazy and you might call me mad. But I very rarely watch them. I only watch them when it's in tournaments, because I feel like the qualification process is a bit of a joke. I think we're never not going to qualify. Do you know what I mean? Well, I say that. We all remember the Wally with the Brolly and all that jazz. But yeah, I mean, the game's become a bit stagnant and a bit gash for me. That's just my opinion on it. But you know what I mean. Yeah, Leeds all the way for me. It is what it is. But when the tournaments come round, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely amazing. But spare a thought for the rest of the home nations and how brutal it must be watching theirs for as long as they have. I mean, we'll probably have some Scots, we'll have some Welsh, a little bit of banter. But yeah, I mean, the Wales did all right, didn't they? When Chris Coleman took them into Europe that time after Gary Speed had done such a great job Rest in peace. But yeah, yeah, it must be bad. Imagine being like a Scotland international fan, and I know this might switch a few people off, but the fact that I can get bored watching a pretty decent England team at times in qualification, if you were Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, and that's no slant on them, I'm just saying it must be tough. You know what I mean? It must be tough, because at least we know, or can have sort of like faith in the knowledge that actually, yeah, we're going to qualify for this major tournament, you know what I mean? And that's why sometimes I do, and I'm guilty of just switching off and thinking, right, I'll just wait for the tournament to come around. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but it's club all the way for me, 100%. I think all of us dislike international breaks. Mark Hawley says, any word on the new kit with the team wear it on Saturday? I'm not too sure. I've not had any word whatsoever. I mean, the club, I do believe there is going to be another kit, 100%, especially for the Centenary, and it's something I'll be buying, 100%. If they don't bring it out, they've missed the trick, especially if they don't bring it out for Saturday, because for me, if I'm Radrazani and Angus Kinnear, they are very smart businessmen, they are very astute. I would have that club shop kitted out wall to wall with this one-off Centenary kit, because I'm telling you, they will get ripped off the walls. Don't do none of this, or let's buy a small batch, or oh, we've ran out. You would just I would remove the rest of the walls. Take everything off. You know, the daft little trinkets they might do. You know, some of the sports, like the gym gear that they've got for the women or whatever that I've spotted in the shop. And that's no certain way. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head some of the stuff they've got. Some of the other gear that they might have. Just get it off. Get that brand new Centenary special shirt with the old badge. You know, I'm talking. For me, my favourite is just the Yorkshire Rose. You know, the shield was nice. You know, the smiley badge, all that. But for me, it's just pure Yorkshire Rose. Just loved that badge. You know, the Yorkshire Rose with the little football in the middle. That was my favourite badge. That would be my ideal. Just the Yorkshire Rose, bam, on a nice all white. Do you know what I mean? It just looked the biz. So yeah, hopefully that does happen. Hopefully it does. 10 minutes left to play then, and it's England 5 and Bulgaria 0. Quinn says, cheers for the informative analysis, Joe. I'm American and I'm still learning about the socio-economics involved in a decision that in my view has come out of nowhere, even if it has been brewing up. Well, thank you very much. If I can contribute to your socio-economics, this is, I'm not taking mick at you, I'm taking piss out of myself there, but I don't even know what socio-economics means. But if I can contribute to your knowledge in a small part, then I'm happy with that. Quinn says he's only followed the club for 5 years. Well, thank you, you know, that's great. I mean, in your eyes, Quinn, are you thinking, I hope this new prospective owner is this wealthy American who's a lifelong Leeds fan? Maybe it is Quinn. Maybe Quinn, it's the ruse, and Quinn is actually the prospective or, you know, new contributor to Leeds United with all this cash. Henderson is playing in Kane. Kane to get on the score sheet, he's hit the post. Unlucky. He's shite, Kane, isn't he? Let's have a look. Bremner's ghost said Risdale broke the bank. Yeah. Super Lee says, I missed Joe's garage. I know, I'm in my old Leeds TV room now. Now I know it's only got this up because, as I say, a lot of things are still in boxes. I still have like some things still in boxes. Oh, what about that? This brings sad memories. Derby County. I do have things still in boxes. So when I get sorted, when I get time, it'll all be up on the walls and stuff. So it's gonna look the biz, like genuinely, it's gonna look the biz. I've got the TV here as well. It's in a much better position than the garage. It's there on the wall, ready. I'm gonna get myself a nice sofa bed. So I'm like sat, reclining, leather chair. Can I have guests? Do you know what I mean? It's all in here. It's all in here. I've got an image. Hopefully I can pull it off. But just so I could get a video out, I just wanted to get this up first of all. But my plan is to do a lot more watch-alongs, not just Leeds specific. Let's open it up a little bit. Let's speak about some other things. Let's drop some videos on goings-on in the Championship, in world football. Let's open it up. Let's spread it up a little bit, you know what I mean? If that's what you'd like. Yes, it is a Leeds channel. Yes, it is Leeds-centric throughout. But it's nice to know what's going on elsewhere as well, right? And if we can watch other Championship games, and hopefully when we get in the Premier League, we'll do a lot more watch-alongs with Premier League games. You know what I mean? That's the plan. One day at a time, though, one day at a time. Johnny Vokula says, nice shirt, what brand? To be honest, mate, it's Next. I'm at an age now where I buy my clothes from the likes of Next and stuff. You go through fits and starts, don't you? When I was a kid, it was all about JD Sports. JJB, I tell a lie, came through on goal. This time he has finished. It's 6-0. It's 6-0. I predicted the future there and said Kane would score. But he's done well. And that's 6. We have equalled Scotland's emphatic win against San Marino yesterday in their 6-0 win. And we've gone and beat a much better side. So up, take it up, you jocks. Let's just watch the goal back. It's well intercepted by Ben Chilwell, as I said, and then Kane picks it up. He's got 3 round him and he just puts it through one of the legs and smashes it in with his left foot. Good goal, and England win convincingly. 6-0. I forgot what I was going to say then. But yeah, back to what I was saying. You go through stages, right? And I never thought I would, where I wouldn't care really what brand I'm wearing. Yeah. When I was a young'un, it was all JJB. Then it was JD. Then it was Topman, River Island. Now it's like Next and stuff. And then I think the next step's Matalan. Sorry, I know I've just got off on tangents, but you know I do that. Could it be 7? Oh, Callum Wilson trying to play it round the door. Mount Wilson. Mount. Nah, missed. Someone's down there looking pretty bad. The Bulgarians played it out for play. But yeah, you asked me where it's from, mate. It's Next. It's Jadon Sancho that's down on the floor. I buy my clothes from Next now because I'm at the age. Let's have a look. Let's get this up. Let's go back to some of you. Marcus May says, have you moved prisons? Yes, I'm now in open prison. Cat D, they've let me out. I get weekends home. I get weekends at home. I get much better stuff on the servery. Get decent stuff on the canteen and that for them that don't know what I'm talking about. That just means what you get on your weekly basis in the prison. But yeah, I have not moved. Yeah, I've moved prison. Sorry, Cat D. The boss will be on later on to lock me up. Paul Weaver says, hi Joe, I've been supporting Leeds for 40 years. I hope they can return to the big time soon. We are, don't worry. Northallerton says, Gerrard to succeed Bielsa can't be right, can it? Yeah, it's all BS. I don't even know why that would be. Listen, my brother texts me, right? He lives in London. He's got a mate who's a Charlton fan. This Charlton fan professed to know Bowyer. And he said, oh, they've already said to Bowyer, you know, he's next in line after Bielsa goes. I just said to my brother, man, calm down. I says, why would that even be in... Listen, I know you've got to put contingency plans in place, but it ain't happening. I just said to my brother, tell your mate he's chatting shit. I don't even think it's that far ahead, do you know what I mean? So to even think Steven Gerrard's an option. And listen, if Leeds didn't get promoted, he wouldn't be coming to Leeds United. Gerrard's next job, because of who he is, and he's doing a decent job at Rangers, he will get a Premier League job. At the end of the day, Frank Lampard, this wouldn't happen anywhere else. Frank Lampard's gone from Derby County, first managerial job, did an average job. Yeah, he got into a playoff semi-final, but in terms of where they'd been previously, the amount of money spent on high-class loans, he had to do that, right? And he's gone now to a team that are in the Champions League. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Gerrard, if Leeds don't get promoted, he isn't coming to Leeds United, he's going to get a Premier League job. If Leeds do get promoted, we don't need anyone because Bielsa's not going to get us promoted and then walk away. It's not happening. So Gerrard one for me is a non-mover, genuinely a non-mover. Would I like Gerrard at the club? I don't see why not. Just don't want to be known as Steve Gerrard's Leeds United, but again, it won't happen. Super Leeds says he's been transferred to Strangeways. Turn Paul says, what do you think of Bielsa out? I haven't seen it as much. I'm not on Facebook anymore, so maybe that's why I haven't seen it. But if anyone is calling for the head of Bielsa, they need to have a serious, long, hard look at themselves in the mirror and just get off the earth because it's done. Yeah, I'm getting off because I'm done. You know, what's that saying? Get me off or whatever it is because I'm done. Benjamin Thornton said, Knowles tipped Leeds to get Gale in January if we get some investment. He's had an interview with Football Insider, I think, saw on Google. Dwight Gale's not happening. Dwight Gale's not happening, never was happening. And listen, I might be wrong, won't happen. Why do you need Dwight Gale now? Why do you need Dwight Gale? We have Eddie Nketiah, and Dwight Gale's not giving us what Patrick Bamford is. And I know that sounds mad, because Dwight Gale gets you goals, right? But what I'm saying is, if Eddie isn't getting into this side because of the style of play that say that, look at Bamford's performance against West Brom. You're not getting that from Dwight Gale. It's a different type of player. We have Eddie Nketiah. We're not getting Dwight Gale. And that's not to rubbish anyone's claims. If Noah Whelan said that, I'm very surprised. I haven't seen that reported. If I am, I'd be very surprised. Gail Dale says, need more goals from midfield, 100%. They do need to chip in more, 100%. If we look back to last season, the way Click started, he was absolutely immense. We've missed Pablo. We have missed Pablo. Dylan Howarth asked me, how's it going? It's going really well. Let's have a look. A lot of people telling me who scored the goals for England. Thank you for that. Alex Sharif says Lampard will be sacked this season. I can't see it after the start. I did think he would, but I can't see it now. Alex Sharif says, has the QSI League had any further developments since this morning? Not really. I think Rad Razani responded to Martin Ziegler's tweet and said, actually, but what he said, I forget off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter, if you just bear with us a moment, because what he said was what Martin had said. I didn't understand it. If you just bear with us one moment, and I'll find it on Twitter. There he is. He actually said, Martin, the talk was about how Leeds will be again competitive and how we are working hard to be back as a top club again, and eventually, when makes sense, open to other partners. Thank you. Which is basically what the article says, really. So I don't understand what Radrazani, it's as if he's saying I haven't said these things, but he clearly has, because he even said, I don't know when the investment will come. I'd like it to be in the Prem. I said this on my, if you haven't watched it already, I don't want to delve too much into that video, but I said it before. I said, could this be 7? Kane's into the box and he's played through Wilson. Oh, he's hit the post, gutted for Wilson. Gutted for him. Because you want that England goal, don't you? You know what I mean? It's absolutely huge. Yeah, but Radrazani had basically said, you know, he's going to be here anyway, but he'd prefer it in the Prem. I mean, and as a businessman, which he is, why would the game's finished? England have won 6-0. Why would you run the risk of selling up now, then getting to the Prem? Imagine that, you know, what kind of money he could bring in at that point, you know. So. And even if we do see investment in January or before January, I don't even think we can spend that cash, guys. If I'm being totally honest, Super Lee says I preferred the selling Armley. Don't worry, it'll all be done out. I promise you of that. There's a lot of club all the way, none for international. Daniel O'For says, why would I want to see Mason Mount win a trophy? Leeds get promoted. Mark Corley says, Irish fan here be nice. Yeah, no disrespect, mate. I hope it didn't come across that way. I was just having a bit of a giggle. Northallerton White says the Centenary kit is black and white, like Newcastle. It better not be. I haven't seen anything like that. Alex Sheriff says he loves the channel. Thank you very much. Stephen All Leeds Our Way Hoy says, watching Northern Ireland game is like watching a Leeds game. Two best sets of fans in the world, and I'm proud to be part of both. Yeah, I do like the Northern Irish, to be fair. I have a few friends that come over at Leeds games that we speak to, Oscar's mates, you know what I mean? Stephen Barry and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, listen, they've got Stewie Dallas, haven't they? They've got a bit of a shite goalkeeper mind, but it is what it is. What's his name again? He used to play for a big club, but now he's gone to Burnley. He was a gash, weren't he? BPF. Oh, bloody flappy hands. Shot stopping was absolutely shocking. It's nice to see Southgate having a chat with Raheem Sterling. It's nice to see all the England players go over to the England fans. It makes you proud to be English, you know what I mean? The lads that know that this hasn't gone down. Doesn't go down at our end, but yeah, 6-0, absolutely buzzing for Raheem. Super Leeds said he's saying he heard black and white stripes as well. Where's this coming from? I hope this isn't true. Let's have a look. Peter Rogers, if Bamford has not hit the net for a few games now, why is not Eddie getting a chance? Is Bielsa that stubborn if we lose points because of it? Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I just think you've got to look at that West Brom performance, and if he continues to perform in that vein, goals will come. And I think his centre forward play that game was absolutely unreal. Alex Sheriff says, "Can you mention me, please?" I have done, mate. Dave for LUFC says, "Do you think any of our loans will go back in January?" No, I think Jack Clark probably will. 100%. I think he'll get loaned back out to a Championship side. I do think Jack Clark will move on, which is unfortunate. But yeah, anything more anyone wants to cover? Because as I say, it's getting quite late. It's almost 10 o'clock, 22. I've not even had my tea. It's been a long day. Just thought I wanted to do Monday Night Football. Let's get it back out there. We've watched the England game. I've asked plenty of your questions. There haven't been as many numbers in tonight, which has meant I could get through a lot more of your questions, which has been enjoyable as well. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys, because I'm absolutely beat. I'm knackered. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you smash a like on the video as well, if you could, please. If you aren't already as well, please make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification button. Because as I say, this week is our Centenary week. We'll have previews from myself, Oscar and Conor, and you'll also have reviews from myself, Oscar and Conor. And also, just before you do go, Tash is back this Saturday. She will be doing the fans video back. I do believe her daughter, Charlotte, of a couple of weeks, is actually going to the game. So they're going to put out a bit of a vlog. Obviously, as well, you've got the Skylights. They're going to be performing in Millennium Square. We absolutely love the Skylights. They've been on the channel before. To be fair, without, shouting it out, before everyone else got on board, All Leeds TV got on board and gave them interviews, yeah? So, Tash and Jack, you all know Tash and Jack, they're going to Millennium Square on Thursday. Unfortunately, Cape Downs, I'm not going to the event. Like I said, I work it and live in Seaham, Sunderland, Durham way. I'm actually going to Preston and I'm going to the LUFC Trust event as well the same week. So I need holidays and all that sort of jazz, getting away early. Couldn't get down on Thursday, which is unfortunate because I would have loved to have done. But yeah, but Jack and Tash will actually be going to that event and they're going to do an interview with the guys at Skylights as well. So we're going to have that coming your way as well. So if you're not a fan of the Skylights, make sure you hear them. Make sure you check them out because they're absolutely brilliant. They're on at LS11 Live. They are a top band and they're going places. And like I say, they'll be doing something in Millennium Square for the Centenary year. To get the festivities kicked off, and Tash and Jack will be there and hopefully will bring us an interview. But yeah, and you'll have your fans video to look forward to as well, which, come on, it's going to be absolutely bouncing on Saturday. Cannot wait. But thank you so much for tuning in. I know I always probably ramble and talk a lot of shite, but it is a pleasure doing this because I love doing it. So thank you for being patient, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all soon. And big shout out Quinn, the American fan. 5 years, boom. Stay true, stay loyal. I don't know what to say next, so I'm just gonna leave you. Peace.